Hey everyone, this is your art teacher, Miss Dressel, and in this video, I'm going to give you some tips on how to do your spooky eyeball art project in Google Drawing. So I'm going to go over the directions and then I'm going to help you make your project. So our essential questions for this project are: how do I make a perfect circle in Google Drawing? And how do I play with repetition? How do I play with size and scale? How do I play with composition using the spooky eyeball motif? So, the things that you need to know how to do for this project is how to make a perfect circle. So, in Google Drawing, to create a perfect circle shape, you're going to click on the shape icon in the toolbar. You're going to click shapes, and when you come over to this shape, it's actually called oval. So it's not a circle, it's an oval. To make the oval a perfect circle, you're going to use your left hand and you're going to press and hold down the shift key. And with your right hand on the trackpad or the mouse, you're going to click and drag. And this is going to help you make your perfect circle shape. So as I click and drag, I hold down the shift key and it keeps it into a perfect circle shape. And then I'm going to let go of shift and clicking. And now I have a filled in circle. So this is how you create a perfect circle. Your spooky eyeball needs a large white circle. This is going to be the sclera part of the eye. I'm going to use this because it's already a perfect circle. When I click on it, I'm going to press on my keyboard Control D, and that's going to duplicate it. To resize it and make it smaller for the colored iris part of the eye, I'm going to press shift on the keyboard with my left hand, and on my right hand will drag to make the circle smaller. So this is going to be the sclera, the iris and the sclera. So we have the two big circles of the eye. I'm going to duplicate the circle one more time and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. This is going to be the black small pupil of the eye, and I'm going to center it up like that. I have to make one more small circle, and this is going to be the highlight of the eye. So duplicate that and make a little highlight. So the highlight doesn't have to be sitting just in the pupil. The highlight can be sitting across multiple pieces of the eye because it's going to be filled in white. So I have some shapes here and I'm going to start to color them in. So the sclera is the white part of the eye. So I'm going to create a gradient here. And when I look at the gradients that are already here, I've made some for you, but you can create your own gradient too. So for the sclera part of the eye, I'm going to create a radial gradient because this is a round shape. And I want the highlight to either come from the center, or I can change which direction I want the highlight to actually come from to give a little bit of variety to my shape. But to keep it simple, I'll just start from the center. Then my gradient can add stops. I'm not going to add any stops for this one, but I am going to change the center one to white, and then I am going to change this one from this darker gray to maybe just a little bit of a lighter gray, and then I'm going to click OK. I don't like the border, so I'm going to turn the border off. Then for my iris and pupil, the pupil we already know is black, so I'm going to do that one first. And this one is the highlight, so I'm going to do that one white. And now this iris is like very boring. We're going to create a new gradient, and I'm going to use a radial gradient again from the center, but this time I'm going to add stops. So I'm going to add stops, and as I click the word add, you see that these dots start to appear. I can click and drag and change the placement of these dots, and I can also change the color of these dots. So for my spooky eyeball, because I want it to be catching your attention, I'm going to try and use these like really bright colors. So I'm going to use the yellow and the green and the cyan and maybe a couple of different yellows and the different cyans and maybe a different shade of green. And then I can drag them on here to say maybe I don't want the cyan to be so intense. Maybe I want that cyan area to be pretty small. And then I can bring these over and click OK. So once I have my iris, I can change the size of my pupil. I can change the size of my highlight. I can change all of those borders to be transparent. And if I'm looking at my iris and I don't like the iris that I've created, I think that this shade needs to be a little bit darker. And then I could always change it up a little bit more if I think some of these colors are a little bit better if I change them a bit. So it looks more like a spooky eye. Now, if you don't like the white highlight shape, you could choose a different shape for your highlight. Something that might be interesting to try besides a circle shape could be the pie shape. The pie shape could work really well too because you can adjust the highlight. So say maybe you only want the highlight to be like this. You can try a different shape for your eyes highlight. So that's how you make a spooky eyeball.